This is where we start to reconnect. We start to meet ourselves and we start to meet our community. And we recognize that it's the fear of this not mattering that prevents us from connection.
I'm Colleen Akiko, and this is We Be the Change. Conversations with people who help us remember who we are and how we might live from that remembering. This is part 3 of Our Inner Ecology, my conversation with artist, author, musician, craniosacral therapist, and retreat leader, Jhana Bowen. In this episode, we enter some tender territory, the fear that we don't matter. I share an experience in which I met a very young part of myself who carried that belief. Jhana and I explore what changes when sadness is no longer pushed away and given a home instead, and how the darker passages in a painting or a life can allow the whole thing to come alive. Here's our conversation.
That awareness of our connection to everything. You mentioned earlier courage. It sometimes takes so much courage to allow our challenges, our tragedies to inform us and then shift into connection amidst our desire for protection, because both are valid. And without honoring our desire for protection, if we write that off, we call that dissociation, because we need protection. And if we go off into this divine mind, divine nature, I'm connected to everything, I don't need to protect myself, then we're actually dissociating, because we do need to protect ourselves. We do need to hold what's sacred to us and ensure that we have safety. And at the same time, we long for connection. We want to savor these beautiful relationships and broaden our circle to include our community as well as our inner circle.
To be fully human.
Yeah.
One of my touchstones is I have a little rhythmic chant that dropped in quite a while ago about just from heaven and of the earth, I am. And very, so sublime and so simple. And as you said, we don't have to do anything to get that. It's there. It's never not there, and it has never not been there. And it never will be not there.
Yeah. And it's through this expression of being human that we experience the divine, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
And the joy of being here on purpose.
Yeah.
And just, I'm still discovering what that means.
Me too.
And here I am
We all
talking
are,
with you.
aren't we? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And of course, we love and care for ourselves and for others and for all beings and for the earth and all that is in this place we live in our bodies and in the world and in the universe. And from that love, of course, we want to not impose any unnecessary suffering upon anything or anyone, even with the quality of energy that I hold in my thoughts or my choices.
Yeah.
And to know that I have everything I need to create a beautiful world in my little microcosm and in connection, and those connections to be sunbeams of the one sun that is beaming through all of us all the time.
Yeah.
Just so appreciate your offering that. Thank you.
Pleasure, Colleen. Yeah, my sense is that our community that joins us here, each of us really, we have that mattering, as Jhana talks about. Our mattering is part of our nature, that we matter. It's our physical nature. And I think our deepest fear is that we believe that we don't matter, right? And being on purpose, when once we really journey with deepest fear and we think we come up short, when we really hold those parts of ourselves, we discover that we do. We discover that we care, we love, we receive, where we open up, and we have the courage to move towards what we care about, to love. I think this is where we start to reconnect. We start to meet ourselves and we start to meet our community. And we recognize that it's the fear of this not mattering that prevents us from connection, right? And so once we really meet those fears, we recover ourselves if we're not running anymore. And that's the basis of our connection, is recognizing that in others, helping others to recover that for themselves. And we don't have control over that, but we do have a choice to meet one another where we're at. And I feel like that's really where things begin, is that capacity to choose love. And that's where courage begins, is that we recover that. And that's where right relationship begins, on a physiological and a psychological level.
And each of us is going to have a sense of what to move towards in our lives at this moment. I remember 20 years ago, maybe more, I was in Maui, and I had never experienced sound healing, which for a musician is kind of silly because music is resonance. And so I just noticed, and I think I was just starting my coaching practice at that time. And I was noticing I really would like to experience sound healing, whatever that is. And I was sitting on the beach. I picked up a free newspaper from the store, and I opened up the paper, and there was a classified ad for a sound healer offering sessions. I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And so a few days later, I was there, and I didn't really know what was going to happen, but I felt a current kind of lifting me and moving me along to meet with this woman. And so she had a room in a house with several rooms, and she put me on the floor and started actually using her own voice to deliver the sound. And I found myself using my voice too and thinking, wow, we sound like a couple garbage disposals, you know. But oh well. But I felt something in my body. And at some point I saw a little girl with dark pigtails, and I recognized that was me. I had seen a picture of me. I was about 2 or 3 years old. I looked at my face and I didn't see eyes on my face. I just saw dark, foggy places where my eyes would be, but I could tell I was very sad. And I recognized myself in this vibration that was happening. And I asked the little girl, oh, you seem so sad. Why are you so sad? And the little girl turned to me and she said, I don't matter. And I felt that so deeply. And that was the beginning of opening up to the depths, to the deep wounds that I had been carrying. And I can't say that they just went away and everything was magical after that. No, but at least we connected.
Yeah.
And that was the start. And it was a beautiful connection. And we're still connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have, as you say, those parts in us that long to be heard and long to be seen. And what a gift we can give to ourselves to just hold them on our laps and love them and listen to them and look at them and let them look at us. That's all who we are.
Exactly. And when we're not doing that, right, what happens is we then distract ourselves. Those parts of us then move into the unconscious, and then they play out. We go, I don't know why I'm doing this, why I keep running from the people I love and care about, or why I keep running from myself.
Why can't I have meaningful bonds with people? Why do I exit relationships as soon as they start getting a little vulnerable or close. We start to see the patterns.
Yeah. And then these pieces come back together once we really start journeying with these parts of ourselves, and we hold them, and we're able to reconcile those emotions. We're able to build bridges back like you did with your younger self, that little girl. And once those parts of ourselves come back home, and we're no longer distancing ourselves from that, or it's no longer in our unconscious, we integrate that. And that part of us then, say for instance, it's that deep sadness. That little girl was really sad. Now sadness has a home. Now sadness doesn't get pushed out, and it doesn't take over once it's triggered. It's actually, oh, I feel sad. Okay, that's all right. I get to be with this right now, instead of pushing it. No, it's not allowed to be here. I don't want to feel sad. It's actually okay. It informs us of what we love, who we love.
And there's such a sweet, deep peace, even in the sadness, that is present in that sadness.
Yeah.
And from there, that acceptance and that appreciation and that love, it makes it so much easier to be in relationship with others, especially those who are difficult, because they're mirroring back those parts of us that are still wanting to be seen and reconciled.
And I think that it's really those difficult places that teach us the most. It's not that we go out to have difficult experiences. I don't think that's how we really operate, but those difficult experiences are usually where we tend to grow so much. No decent movie ever has no difficult experiences. No story of triumph ever goes without a very difficult experience, or any decent piece of music doesn't usually, usually has some kind of, And I think you were talking earlier about you creating art, that there was this transformational element, bringing the darkness in. You created, and I've noticed that significant pieces of art required transformation. The paintings that I created for the Leap of Faith series, there were so many layers underneath it that were absolute failures. They were absolute tragedies that did not turn into a masterpiece, but I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And it was the presence that I brought to every brushstroke. And this is a metaphor for life. We bring presence to what seems like absolute trash. And life is not trash, but sometimes we think we are. Sometimes this idea that we don't matter appears to be so real. This concept that we are totally inadequate seems so concrete. And yet we bring this undiluted presence to living each moment, even if it feels like nothing is worth it. And we just keep showing up. And that's when our lives become a masterpiece, because we're just here in this moment, just here right now. I'm showing up in this relationship, even when I have no idea what's next. And I'm afraid that my beloved doesn't love me, but I keep showing up, and I risk telling the truth. And I don't know what the outcome of that is going to be. But
that's where the life is, right? On the edge. And the edge has a way of cutting away the illusions. Life may not get easier, but it does get simpler, I think.
And what enables us to do that is reconnecting back to this intelligence that's holding everything. And we don't need to think about anything. We don't need to fix anything. We don't need to be anyone, because we already are enough. We already are held by that intelligence. And so this practice of holding ourselves is not trying to be anyone or perfect ourselves. This is, I think, one of the biggest pieces with healing and with creativity is that we're not trying to get somewhere. We're not trying to complete ourselves or each other. It's our true nature. And this is the irony, is that we just relax. We just surrender, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how many times I return to the same knowing, just to know again. It may be a little bit of a different facet of the knowing, but I'm not knowing anything different. And yet it's an infinite knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are in these finite bodies that are going to go through their cycles. And there's nothing that we can do to stop that or that we should do. And yet what a gift to be experiencing this in our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. And that infinite knowing, Colleen, that holds the doubt, that holds the uncertainty, that holds tragedy and everything else.
Yeah. So another real simple chant that I've probably made up different versions of is basically, I am here, all is well. It comes in different ways. I may feel that in different parts of my body as I think or sing that. And yet the truth is the same and yet freshly experienced. It's a truth that never gets boring or old.
That's right. That's right.
So timeless.
Yes. Yes.
What a treat to be talking about these things with you, Jhana.
Lovely, Colleen. Yeah.
You've been listening to part 3 of Our Inner Ecology, my conversation with Jhana Bowen. Big thanks to Jhana for the clarity and tenderness that he brings to these places that we so often avoid. Perhaps there's one question to carry with you. What part of you is still waiting to know that you matter? You can learn more about Jhana and his work at jhanabowen.com. That's JHANABOWEN.com. And if you'd like a quiet place to continue listening, reflecting, connecting with others, you're warmly invited into the Bowl of Light Cafe. You can find it through songrise.live, SONGRISE.LIVE. I'm Colleen Akiko. Thank you for being here. See you soon.